Hey guys, Tony Shoup with Audit the Vote PA. Wanted to give you guys an update today on our most recent swamp findings. The swamp gets deeper every single day, and the more we learn, the more we realize we really do have to learn. So the first update I want to give you comes from our article yesterday that came out from the Associated Press, and then I did a video on Forbes, did a version of the article, which was partially true, but spin, and I deconstructed that yesterday. So if you haven't seen that video, I did a live stream. Go on my YouTube channel and it's there. So we found out today, which we kind of knew this yesterday, but we got more confirmation today when an article came out from, I think it's called Liberty Watch, something like that, talking about that meeting that was between the Republican senators was actually a private meeting, which we kind of already knew. And so the information that came out in that article yesterday was leaked. It wasn't supposed to come out. Isn't that funny? And we know who leaked the article. So we're going to do some more hit pieces on this extra special swamp critter. And I'm going to even show you some proof of how we know she's a swamp critter. Enter Senator Camera Bartolotta. So she's kind of been under the radar. We honestly haven't had any dealings with her up until this point. She is on several committees, but none that are affiliated with the audit. So I guess that's why she hasn't really hit our radar. But we did find out she is a leak in the Republican Party, a tonal rhino that needs to go. And I'm going to share my screen with you so you can see a picture of her. And then I'm going to talk about why she is a swamp critter. Yay! Screen share. Okay, nope, I don't have two monitors. Hang with me, you guys. You guys are so good at this. Can I share my screen? Oh no, I don't have two monitors. Share screen. Okay, there we go. I don't know if you guys can see this or what. This is not working out. I just want to show you a picture of her. Cameron Bartolotta, but she, give me a minute. I will figure this out. Can I add that to the stream? Oh, look at that. Love these videos. I'm glad you like these videos. Such a rookie, no idea what I'm doing or how this works. Are you seeing me like multiple times? You probably are. I can't do the screen share. Dang it. Exit full screen. Thank you guys for bearing with me. I did this once before. It worked out so well. I just want to share my screen. Window. Oh, there it is, I think. Aha, there it is. Found it. Haha, there she is. Camera Bartolotta, Pennsylvania's 46th district. She serves Beaver, Washington, and Greene counties. She's actually very attractive. Check her out. So she actually, I live in Beaver County area. So she's actually one of my, she's not my senator, but she's in my area. So when it comes time to replace her, this could actually be pretty good. She has several district offices, but here's the interesting part about her. This is why we know she's a swamp, in addition to some other inside information that we've gotten, is because Senator Cameron Bartolotta just got married in 2020. And she married a guy by the name of Bill DeWeese. And if you've never heard of him, he was a Democrat and he was Speaker of the House several years back. And he was arrested back in April of 2012. Look at this article. Ex-PA House Dem boss Bill DeWeese gets what is that? It's 2.5, 2 1/5. I don't even know what that's saying. Years in jail and a $25,000 fine. For what? For corruption. Judge sentenced him to prison for corruption, even as he anticipated winning the Democratic nomination for another term in the Pennsylvania primary election. He spent 35 years in the House of Representatives and actually ended up being Speaker of the House at one point in time. How do you like that? A Dauphin County judge. What does that say? Sentenced the former longtime House Democrat leader to 2.5 to 5 years in prison, fined him $25,000, and ordered him to pay nearly $117,000 in restitution after a 90-minute hearing at which lawyers sparred over DeWeese's culpability and public statements about his conviction. Look at this. Judge Todd Hoover told DeWeese he was convinced DeWeese used his position to persuade or force legislative employees to perform illegal campaign work and that he intentionally misused public resources for political purposes. There's no question you were the leader and the instigator, the judge told Deweese before imposing the sentence. Deweese, 62, did not talk with reporters after the hearing, but his lawyer, Bill Kostopoulos, vowed to appeal and said Deweese's political campaign remains on track. Well, he hasn't run since that I know of, and you can go read the article. But how crazy is that? And this is why that's important, because Camera Bartolotta married him in 2020. They're hitched. Surprise. Now, if you're a conservative constitutionalist Republican, could you be married to a liberal Democrat who was convicted of using taxpayers' monies for his own political campaign? I don't know. I think that's a little strange. So Mrs. Bartolotta, or maybe Mrs. Deweese, I don't know what we should call her, was the responsible one for leaking the information yesterday to the press. And the reason why they didn't quite want that, well, first of all, it was in a private meeting, which means private tells you it's not supposed to be leaked out yet, because the good guys in there that are working to get the ball rolling on the forensic audit, and yes, the ball is rolling, and we will have one in Pennsylvania, FYI, is that article was not supposed to come out until everything was underway. Subpoenas were issued and things were in motion so that there would be minimal amount of things that could get in the way. We still are not going to let things get in the way. And I caution everybody not to start celebrating just yet, because we do have a road ahead of us. This is going to be fought. I am sure the counties, when they get the subpoenas, especially the ones that have plenty to hide, are going to try to fight it in court. And so there's a lot going on right now behind the scenes to make sure that this goes as smooth as possible. I will give you another call to action. If you're in Pennsylvania, Allegheny County specifically, there's a Republican senator. His name is Devlin Robinson. They all got affidavits of maladministration, meaning if they don't respond to us within 5 days, they acquiesce to doing what we ask for. And we have spelled out in our affidavit very specifics of what we want with this forensic audit. And we, of course, have not heard back from the 3 people who we know already got theirs. So Devlin Robinson is in Allegheny County. Allegheny County would be very, very, very important to get as one of the counties that we audit. We have requested it, but there's word that perhaps Devlin Robinson is not 100% in favor of that. So he is going to need some positive pressure starting now and through the upcoming week from everybody in Allegheny County, specifically his constituents. So if you're in his district, please, you need to start reaching out to him via email and phone calls and letting him know he needs to support a full forensic audit. And we know for a fact that Allegheny County has a ridiculous amount of ballot harvesting in nursing homes and fraudulent mail-in ballots. We can prove it with efforts that have already been done canvassing door to door. So if there's nothing to hide, then why not let us audit that county? So we'll be putting calls to action out on our Telegram channel later this week about what to do there. Thankfully, we have tons of signatures of people in Allegheny County. Probably between 5,000 and 10,000 of our signatures are Allegheny County. So we will be reaching out to people that supported us, getting you involved and telling you what you can do to help us. Perhaps we'll meet at his office. We'll try to schedule maybe a meeting in his office somewhere, even a protest in his office. We do recommend staying away from their personal homes. That's not, we're not playing dirty. That's kind of what the other side does. As a conservative Christian who tries to follow God every day of my life and live my life according to what the Bible says and what Jesus would do, we try to stay away from the homes. I just think that's a little bit too much. And I get it. I get they're angry and they're not doing their jobs. And yes, they probably deserve to be tarred and feathered, but let's take the high road and stick to their offices. So that is my update for today. How do you guys like that? Senator married a Democrat who was convicted of corruption and sentenced to 2 to 5 years in jail. I love exposing these people. It gets better by the day. Stay tuned. That is it. So hopefully I got that out quick. I don't know how. Oh, yes, I did in under 10 minutes. I didn't talk forever. Somebody says smash the like button. Yes, please do, because this information needs to get out. The mainstream media is not going to talk about this. We are the only ones talking about it. So this information has to go out. Why I'm on YouTube is because I have next to no subscriptions. I have less than 2,000 subscriptions. I have I think my highest video maybe had over 4,000 views. So I'm highly under the radar right now. I'm not sure if we can stay under the radar, but we're going to try. And I do have an account on Rumble, and I'm looking at Odyssey because all the other YouTubers I've become friends with said that that is potentially the best one to migrate to. So no worries. If we get booted, just like the rest of them, we will go somewhere else. But for right now, we're still active and live on YouTube. So follow, share, get this information out, especially to Pennsylvania. We are still taking signatures. We want to get as well networked as possible throughout the state so that when it comes time to primary these people, we have a list. I have public enemies. I think we're up to 6 or 7, maybe even 8 right now. We're going to have a top 10 list of public enemies that need to go by 2022. And we're going to shift into working towards that once the audit gets underway. So continue to sign the petition, get us our contact info. On our website, you can support us multiple ways. You can, we have merchandise available, t-shirts and hats and water bottles with Audit the Vote logo on there. So feel free to go grab your merchandise if you'd like to support us. You can also donate through a Cash App link. We have a PayPal. It's auditthevotepA@gmail.com. You can send a PayPal. And we're working on getting set up with one of these new payment processors because Stripe booted us because they don't like what we're doing. Also, most importantly, get yourself educated. Karen and I host Constitution classes on Wednesday evenings via Zoom, starting at 8:30 p.m. They go 6 weeks long. We're in the middle. We're actually at the tail end of our Constitution class this time. It's amazing. I love watching people's light bulbs in their heads go off when they realize how much they don't know. And holy cow, we really can fix this if we just get enough people educated. I think we're on week 5 of 6. This upcoming Wednesday, July 28th, is going to start another series of 6 weeks. Wednesday nights at 8:30, all via Zoom. We are asking for a $10 donation this time. The class was previously free. It is free, but we did have to upgrade our Zoom and other things. The more time that we spend doing stuff with Audit the Vote that we know we're called to do, we're thankful we can do it and excited that we're able to do it. It is taking some time away from our other businesses. And so we are asking for a $10 donation just to help fund our expenses and keep our households running. If for any reason $10 is out of your budget, I get it. Money is crazy tight. You haven't had a job, whatever the case. Message us privately. We'll be happy to get you in for free. We don't want you to not take the class because you don't have an extra $10. So that is that. I'm going to check the comments. I need Karen running tech while you're doing this. I know, Dane, for real. I got to figure this out. These videos. Oh my gosh. Any questions? I'll take questions in the comments for a few more minutes and then I'm going to end. She the squealer. She is from yesterday. She sure is from yesterday. The article I'm reading wasn't showing. Did I share the article? I thought I did. Did you guys see Cameron? Did they wear the masks during their wedding? No. I don't know. But like, and I get, some people, they're married, they don't agree politically, but you're a senator. How do you marry a Democratic House rep who was convicted of corruption? But you're on the up and up. No, I don't think so. Yes, we have an uphill battle. You are most welcome, Connie, for what we're doing. Not too hopeful that PA legislature will have the same courage as Arizona did. I understand that, and I agree with you, and that's why we've got a bunch of contingency plans. It's why we did the affidavits now. We have things timed just right, hopefully, to make sure that this moves forward as smoothly as possible. But we are looking at multiple avenues, other lawsuits. We plan to carry out what we're doing with the affidavits. If we don't hear back from them in the time frame that we have asked, we're asking our volunteers to send notices. If we have to get to the courtroom where there's arbitration, we'll get to that too. So we plan on following up with all that stuff. And we're kind of hearing rumblings of being able to file right to know requests to actually get images of the ballots, of the paper ballots that have been cast. So, I mean, that would be a ton of work, but absolute worst case scenario, if we have to go the citizen audit route, we are looking at that now as well. We're getting connected with patriots all across the nation. I have Marilyn Todd's contact info from New Hampshire, who's leading up a citizen's audit. Populist Revolt has some really good things on their website about what you can do nationwide to get involved. And patriots are getting connected, and we are taking this country back, period. Case closed. It is a done deal. We are just walking it out right now. Judge who issued subpoena. Yeah. One of her biggest, let's read this. One of her biggest campaign contributors is Charles Betters. He's a developer in Beaver County. Really? He was a huge contributor to Ed Rendell. He renovated public housing in Philly and Camden. Why am I not surprised? Tony, why did you move the four-wheeler? Why did I move the four-wheeler? Because there's a mower that is back there underneath that's in front of the four-wheeler, and our neighbor is using our mower. So my husband actually had to get the four-wheeler out so that he could get the mower out for the neighbor. Good question. You can't make this stuff up. Yes, happy 4th of July. 4th of July weekend is awesome. Thank you for sharing in the Telegram. Bill Bailey, I should know who that is, but the name is escaping me. It's the judge to sign warrants, and he did. Good. Yes, we heard Dan Bongino. We are also in touch. I guess Mike Lindell has his own payment processor as well, and I would like to support him as much as possible because he appears to be a true patriot. And so we have his platform, but we need to be a business in order to subscribe. So we're in the process of that too. We started out filing Audit the Vote PA as an LLC. It looks like we're taking it the corporation route, just recommended by our legal counsel. So once we get that wrapped up, we plan to go with Mike Lindell's payment processor. The register, Reginald, yes. So the link to register for the class, I could post it. And in fact, I'll figure out where to post it on here that you guys can see it. Like you can tell I'm kind of new at this, so I'm not sure what the heck I'm doing. But it's on our website. So if you go to auditthevotepa.com, scroll all the way to the bottom, there's a short video on there that says, know your rights. It's a guy, Uncle Sam, standing there like this. And click on it. It'll give you a snapshot of the class from Rick Green. Rick Green and David Barton are actually the teachers in the course that we host. Quick video, show you what it is, and then underneath there's a link to register right there. But I will also get the link in the and honestly, seriously, people, if for whatever reason you're like, I just don't feel comfortable paying $10, if it's for free, let us know that. We're not doing this to make money. I'll be happy to send you the link free of charge. You can get on the patriotacademy.com website, and there's other classes that you can take for free. We just, again, I explained everything why we're asking for the $10 donation, but we don't want that to be the reason people don't take the class. How does a $1,000 a day fine get enforced? That's a really good question. We are learning as we go. I can't answer that specifically, and I don't want to give false info. So we're just going to have to see if we get to the arbitration point. I will tell you that the $1,000 fine does not come from any taxpayer money. It is from his personal money. So we are certainly not trying to take any money from we the people that we already overly end up giving the government way more than they deserve. So that $1,000 is supposed to come out of their own pockets, not taxpayer money. Yeah, pressure, more pressure, the better. And here's the cool thing. The more people that try to disparage us and say, oh, go away, they try to stop everything, the more support we're getting. Really, our movement is growing at a rapid pace. We're getting connected with other grassroots groups all across Pennsylvania. There's a ton of them. There really are. I mean, it's amazing how many groups are out there basically trying to do the same thing, working in parallel, maybe on different issues, maybe on the vaccine issue, maybe on the masks with the kids in the school districts, which I highly recommend you get connected in your school district. We have to stop critical race theory. We have to make sure that kids don't have to wear diapers in the fall. So many of these groups are running parallel to us, and we're all connecting, and that's how we're going to drain the swamp basically and take it over. I absolutely can't wait. Oh, Matt DePerno's client, Bill Bailey. That's why I heard that name before. Yes, thank you. Thank you, Barb. Hey, lady, how are you? I missed the cracked egg this morning. Were you at the cracked egg? I was catching up on sleep. I'm a late nighter and totally had to get some sleep, or I let my Kimmy down. I'm so sorry, Kim, if you're watching this. I didn't make it. I know Karen went, and I love you madly, and I hope your re-grand opening was amazing, and we need to get together soon. Be the next domino. Trump he really did. Uncle Downer, whoever that is. Oh, thank you. Thank you for praying for us. Yeah, I believe Trump did win in a landslide. You know, we went to bed on election night and he was up 700,000 votes, maybe even more. And good. You saw Karen and her kiddos and hubby. Good. Beaved Patriot. Thank you. Yeah. And you know what? This isn't the mainstream media will say it's baseless. It's conspiracy theory. There's been audits. All the judges threw the court cases out. They're just not telling you the other side. The other side being that no evidence was looked at. The judges would not even hear the evidence, and that all the audits that were done were risk limiting audits. Seth Grove's sham of hearings, such a swamp critter. He's number 3 on the House, by the way. Top 3 that have to go in the House: Brian Cutler, Kerry Benninghoff, Seth Grove, in that order. Seth Grove put together the hearings for the audit of the election in 2020, I believe, is a way just to pacify the people and get us to shut up. And if you watch them, I had a hard time even watching them because I know I've seen the data and I know what's real. And just watching them go through these processes and procedures and not address any of the concerns, nothing in the letter that we wrote that's on our website. If you click on the petition tab, you can read the letter. It tells the whole story of Pennsylvania. It tells from November 3rd, everything on down, and none of that stuff was addressed or answered in any of those hearings. I was sending the entire legislator weekly emails, updating them on what we were doing, giving them the data. Every week I would send them a different screenshot of something, pieces to the puzzle that were coming together on our end. They have it all. Don't let them tell you that they didn't see it, they don't have it, they don't know, there's not enough to overturn the election. Blah, 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 blah. Liars, swampy politicians. We must drain the swamp. What is my opinion on Frank Ryan? That's a good question. I so hesitate to give an opinion on people that I'm just not sure. I want to think he's a good guy. I've heard he's a patriot, but he's made some decisions and voted certain ways that make me wonder. So I'm not sure. I hope he's a good guy, but we'll see. I will, I'll publicly come out and say this because I like him. I think Russ Diamond's a patriot. I'm not saying he's perfect. I'm sure he's made some mistakes along the way in his career, but he's definitely not swamp. And I think he's a good guy, Russ Diamond. See, it's people like that, when we do find them, few and far between, that we need to get moved through and moved up. He's been in the House for a while. He needs to be a senator, in my opinion. And I could be wrong. I know there's others that think he's not a good guy, but based on my dealings with him, I think Russ Diamond is pretty solid. I think I will start naming names of people I think are solid. Stephanie Borowitz, I think she's solid. She's also in the House. She's relatively new. She's a fighter. She's a Christian. We have prayed on the phone with her. Love her. I think she's a good guy. Again, we need to elevate her and move her through. I also think that David Zimmerman is a patriot. David Zimmerman is the only one that voted against Act 77. He has also, from the very beginning, he was the first one that answered our series of emails saying, I have asked for an audit from the beginning, fully support what you're doing. I think he needs to move up as well and be a senator because he's been a House rep for a long time. I don't know about Kristen Phillips Hill. I won't comment unless I like to have personal dealings. If I've had a personal dealing with them, I will happily just divulge what I've seen, what I've learned, what I've heard, but I haven't had any dealings with her. I hope you're right that she's a good person, but there are a handful. There are a handful. Good deal. Potentially Mike Jones. I'll leave it there. Mike Jones might be a good guy. He's definitely not on our public enemy list. There's some questionable things there, but he's as a possibility. Mike Jones is a patriot. Uncle Downer, possibility that Mastriano is a patriot. We'll see. We'll see how this goes. He's supposedly leading the charge, but we got to wait and see. Again, that's why we have contingency plans. We're not relying on our legislators fully. This is a government for the people, of the people, by the people. We've been asleep at the wheel for entirely too long. We, the people, are getting re-engaged, re-involved, taking our state back, taking our government back peacefully and constitutionally, of course. No violence ever. That's why the Constitution is so valuable. Why understanding our founding documents is so important, because there's no need for violence. If we know our rights and we're willing to stand up peacefully, use our First Amendment rights, there's absolutely no reason to get violent. We can do this. Actions speak louder than words. I would agree with you. So let's see. He did. You're absolutely right. I'm not saying I don't like Doug Mastriano. We're waiting to see what happens. We're just keeping our eye, keeping everything on the up and up and in check, and we'll see. We will absolutely see. Time will tell. He is definitely the one that is leading the charge right now, moving things ahead, but gotta wait and see. I'm trying to think who else. Is that it for the good guys? That might be it for the good guys that I can attest to. I'm sure there's others. I shouldn't say I'm sure there's others, but there's probably others. But they're highly outnumbered, and we got to get more of them. We really do. Yep, we'll see. We shall see. David Argyle. Yeah, he's close to public enemy list. He's real close. I'm not sure yet. Not sure. I'd like to say just for his lack of action, but we are getting, there's, I was taught this a long time ago in my business dealings with my different mentors that there's three sides to every story: his, hers, and the truth. And so when you get a version of one person's story, I always try to not make a judgment until I at least get another side of the story. So the more people that we talk to about why David Argyle didn't pull the trigger and act yet. It's possible. He's not a swamp critter. He's not a bad guy. Maybe he's just like Jamie says. Not all of them are swamp. Just a lot of them are in there, and they're just not fighters. They've been there a little bit too long. Politics was never meant to be a career. It was never meant to become wealthy, make millions of dollars. So a lot of them have just been there a little bit too long, and they're maybe a little bit too complacent, or they just don't have a fighting spirit. I know my senator specifically, his name is Elder Vogel. I have reached out to him multiple times. I wanted to talk to him about my Constitution classes. He has never gotten back to me. When I spoke to his secretary on the phone about a forensic audit, I flat out asked her if he was in favor of it or not, and she said, I don't know. And everybody, the word on the street with him is that he's a good guy. He's not a bad guy. He's just passive. He's passive and peaceful, and he's not a fighter. And in my opinion, those are the people that unfortunately need replaced. Hopefully they've handled their finances well. You can take care of your family, go do something else. We need bulldog fighters in Harrisburg to protect our Constitution and our liberties and not let anything that happened in 2020 ever happen again. Because if you think they're not going to try, think again. The Delta variant or whatever the frick that is, which is another level of flu, just like COVID, that's going to come out. You think they're done trying to control us and shut down businesses and force us to wear masks? Think again. Who knows when the next wave is coming? We need to get bulldogs in there that will protect us from government overreach. I've met Chris Dush as well. I like Chris Dush. I've heard good things about him too. Again, time will tell. We'll see. Republicans are never fighters. That is the truth, but that needs to change. That needs to change. We need patriots. We need America first. That's one of the best things I like about Donald Trump's presidency, and what he did is he exposed these weak rhino Republicans who just roll over and are not willing to fight at all. That's why I give the Democrats credit. They're fighters. They're fighters, and they stay unified, and they're to be commended for that. That's probably about it. But still, we need to learn from that and get America first patriots serving in our state governments all over the country that are going to fight for this. Because freedom, what Ronald Reagan in that famous quote, that freedom doesn't pass down through the bloodline. It must be fought for and paid for with a price. There is a price for freedom. It needs absolutely fought for from generation to generation. It's a Constitution. Again, our classes are so vital. The Constitution was meant to be read, studied, and taught and passed through the generations. That is how we protect everything that our founding fathers put in place. And it's basically been completely forgotten. I mean, when Karen and I both started the Constitution classes, the reason we took the class is because I was clueless. I couldn't believe how long it was. I'm like, this thing is like pages and pages long. I didn't know the difference between the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. I knew absolutely nothing. And now here we are, a year and a half later. So that thing needs to get taught again, bad. COVID is winter flu. I totally agree. Scott McKay, Patriot Street Fighter from State College, does he really? That's awesome. I've been on the phone with him once. Hopefully he can help us out if he still has family in Pennsylvania. Hopefully he can recommend maybe some good potential candidates for us to replace these rhinos when it comes time to do that. We'll be in touch with him for that. Big shots of funny enough, it's the women that seem to be stepping up. I love it. The liberal women that think it's all about women's rights and my body, my choice, and all that stuff. Where are you at? Because I think it's the conservative women that are stepping up right now and fighting and leading the charge. And I love it. Just because you're a conservative woman, by the way, doesn't make you a doormat. You could still be a fighter and have conservative values. Big shots of testosterone. I don't disagree. Okay, nobody has any other questions. I'm going to cut this off. I know people's attention span isn't really long, and I could talk forever because I'm a talker. But yeah, thank you guys. Share this. Get the information out about Pennsylvania. Camera Bartolotta, married to Bill DeWeese, convicted felon, ex-Speaker of the House in Pennsylvania and Democrat. And she was the one that leaked the information yesterday, which they were trying to keep under wraps. Happy 4th of July to you guys. Be safe, celebrate, understand what our country is all about. You're welcome, Katie. Learn, get yourself educated. Constitutional Live, July 28th, 8:30 p.m. it starts. If you haven't taken it yet, be there. I love you guys. Thanks for watching. We'll talk soon.